welcome to the 48th edition of Healthy Living with Marilyn. We are now in season 4, episode 4, from what I remember from my memory. And I want to welcome you into my den. Welcome to Healthy Living with Marilyn. We have an exciting show for you tonight. This is so exciting. I have Zoomed somebody in, a colleague, a naturopathic colleague of mine from Rochester, New York. Her name is Shirley Picaretto. And I've known Shirley. How long have we known each other, Shirley? Almost a year, huh?
I would say about a year. It was last year. I was going to be heading down to Virginia, and I think we were talking.
Right. We've been friends for a little over a year, and she wanted to be on my show in the beginning. It's like, Shirley, I have no way to get you here. And it's like, I would love for you to be on my show, but I have no way to get Shirley here. How am I going to get Shirley here? So after a while, I've started doing Zooms. I started Zooming people in from Zooms all over the place, from Canada, from Vermont, from, a lot of different places. And I said to her one day, I said, Shirley, you got to be on my show. I can Zoom you in. And so we set it all up, and it's great. And Shirley has been having these wonderful, wonderful Facebook live videos at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And if you ever get a chance to get on to listen to her, she has a plethora of information. When I get a chance to watch them, and I try to watch them live, but this week I've been suffering from a little bit of jet lag, she has a lot of information, and I do share it on my Facebook page. And the ones that I have missed, I will definitely get them on my Facebook page, because she has talked about a lot of different things that a lot of people don't know, like when you went to India and you were talking about the Swami. And, when I was listening to that, I was going to my acupuncturist, and I was walking with a cane, and I had to walk like 2.5 blocks to get there, because parking down in Shockoe Bottom is absolutely impossible down in the city. So a lot of times I have to park and I have to walk all the time. So I was listening to that, and it's like she's talking about how the Swami touched her toe and how she went, woo, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And I'm worried about walking with a cane 2.5 blocks, And I thought that was really, really interesting. But tonight we are going to talk about how to stay healthy, lean, and sexy at any age. And you've written, what's the name of your book, Shirley?
That's the name of my book, Marilyn.
Healthy, lean, and sexy at any age. Sexy
yes.
at any age. Yeah.
Any age, yes.
At any age. I'm 65, but I don't feel 65. 65 is the new 35, and that's the way I look at it.
That's what they say. I know. I'm in my late 50s, and it's the same thing, but maybe there's just us that are feeling that way. I'm not sure, but it's...
I don't know. My daughter asked me a couple years ago, she says, so how do you feel? And I said, man, I feel like I'm 30-something. She says, Mom, that's younger than me. It's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, so I'm trying to keep up with my kids. I don't know. My kids seem to think that I can just go like the Ever-Ready Bunny all the time.
You probably always have.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I go out to California. I went out to California to see my grandson, Banner, who is doing very well. Thank you very much. He's thriving. He's loving the fact that people are giving him attention and holding him. His dad and his mom get to do skin to skin. I didn't get to do skin to skin. I'm only the grandma, but I got to hold him. I'm the only other one that gets to hold him, only the grandparents. And I said to my son, I said, so how do I hold him? Well, it's called swaddling, Mom. And I said, so what is that? He says, you hold him like a burrito, Mom. It's like, really? You hold him like a burrito? How cool is that? So for 3 nights, I held him like a burrito. But because he was attached to all these accoutrements and the wires and everything in his feeding tube, when you sit down, you're down. You don't move. You can move him a little bit to get him comfortable. Sometimes he got squirmy. For being a little over 2 pounds, he can get pretty squirmy at times.
Yeah.
But he also taught me that I have to start being more healthy so I can get lean and be sexy at any age. And that's why I'm so glad that we got you on there. It's very timely, because past couple months I've been gone at least a week every month, and I have to literally run through airports to get to my next flight. And so I wear my sneakers, because the only way I can do it is I can't do it in flip-flops. And it's hard enough to run through airports when people in front of you are just walking and taking their time.
Some of the gates are so far away. We were catching a flight last month, and we were at one. We had to be at gate 65 in 10 minutes. And you know, that can be a 20-minute hustle to move that many gates.
Yep. One time when I was going to San Diego, my flight left at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I had a 50-minute layover in Charlotte. And we sat on the tarmac for 45 minutes. Do the math. I made it on the plane with 4 minutes to spare. And talk about running. I felt like the bionic woman without all the computers and the accoutrements, you know, because I really had to put the speed in it and get it going. And I had 2 bags on my back. So it was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is nuts. But I made it there with 4 minutes to spare. And I thought, well, I was at gate C2 or something. And I thought, well, that's close. No, they count down.
Yeah. Sure,
I had like 20 gates to get to run through before I could get to that one. It's like, this is ridiculous. You know, it's incredible. But I did it. And I think that's really helped me keep going, keep my stamina going.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been working on my stamina because on Saturday, my daughters and my other grandsons and we are going to do the Komen race, the 5K. And my goal is to push the stroller with the baby in the stroller.
Okay, good for you.
So we'll see how it goes. The best part, I think, if they keep the route the way they always have, the last maybe, I don't know, 400, 500 yards are all downhill. And I remember just turning it all on just to run downhill like crazy.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's my goal. So, but anyhow, so you live, and thank you for coming. I really welcome you to Healthy Living with Marilyn. I really appreciate you, appreciate all your time, your expertise, your friendship and everything. And I do want to get a copy of your book, by the way. And I, in turn, when my book is totally finished, my book's Be Amazing. I changed the subtitle. It's, oh my goodness. Positive results are just a leap away. That's my subtitle. So I've changed the cover. I've changed a lot of things in it. So I'll make sure that you get a copy of my book as well. So you've written a book called, when did you write this book, Healthy, Lean, and Sexy at Any Age?
It came out about 14 months ago.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was it was about 14 months, the beginning of last year. So, yeah.
And is it on Amazon?
It is on Amazon. Yeah, it actually became a bestseller, which was a big surprise to me. In many countries, I still get royalties from Japan. It's also too, for your listeners, it's an excellent book. You can purchase a hard copy if you like, but if you have a Kindle, there's a download for free. So I really suggest doing it. There's a lot of wonderful information in there from, whether it's through eating and cleansing and detoxing or, all of those things that we may want to talk about today. But it's a nice compilation of, what my personal opinion is on how to keep healthy, through the years.
So what is your opinion on how to keep healthy? You talked about detoxing. What is your opinion on that?
Well, I think that everybody needs to detox all the time. I talk about this. We have fat in our body, fat cells. We have, and this causes us to hold on to more weight. I've been talking about this in intermittent fasting quite a bit lately. We don't pay much attention to our livers, and our livers are constantly getting assaulted, whether that's from hair dye and from chemicals and from foods and from dyes and
cleaning products,
lysols and eating and processed foods and medications. This causes us to be up late at night. It causes us to be sluggish. It causes us to be quick to anger, easily frustrated, lack of patience, maybe adult acne. Anything that shows up on our skin is indicative of what's going on inside the body. And so, I cleanse many, many times a year. I do candida cleanses. I do a parasite cleanse. It's time to do maybe a heavy metal cleanse because I got a mouthful of mercury from, when I was younger. I just recently did a body fat cleanse and a detox, and I lost a couple of inches off my waist and a couple inches off my hips, and and about 6 pounds, 6 pounds of fat, and that's visceral fat, which can be your dangerous fat that kind of will accumulate around your organs. And so there's a lot of important things as in maintenance of your body. But detoxing the spring right now is one of the best times to do that.
Yeah.
Then again, fall, or if we travel, is another good time because there's all kinds of crap in the airplanes as well too.
Yeah, because I'm going to get ready to do a cleanse early next week. After Mother's Day,
Yes, that's the
and
Mother's Day.
that's when
Okay.
I'm going to start my cleanse on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
So,
Good.
I think that's important. In fact, yesterday when I was home, because I spent all day home yesterday, my husband says, "You want to go out to dinner?" It's like, I don't want to go anywhere because I am too tired. I need to just take care of myself and have self-care and sit and knit. Knitting is my addiction. Plus, it keeps me out of the refrigerator. So I'm
Yes.
knitting more baby hats for Banner, and I'm knitting. If they don't fit him, they can give them to somebody else in the NICU section. And I'm just that is my therapy. Is knitting, is just sitting there and knitting and knitting and knitting, and or even just casting on or rolling a ball of yarn, something like that. That's the way
place, yeah.
I just stay home and just relax. That's my way of relaxing. Other than meditating, but it's hard to meditate with your eyes closed and do knitting at the same time. I've tried that. It doesn't really work.
That's very challenging.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I knit. I knit a lot of things. I used to own a yarn shop years ago when I was in transition before I got back into naturopathy and holistic health. I took a break because I was going through some difficult times. I was going through a divorce, and I took a break, and then I met my wonderful husband. We've been married almost 11 years, and
Nice.
I decided, I want to open a yarn shop, so I did. And I had that open for a few years, and I knitted like 18 hours a day. And this was a fist when I would wake up in the morning. It's like, no, that doesn't work. So I still knit. I still knit a lot. I haven't been to a yarn store in over a year because I've got so much yarn here. I'm trying to knit it up, and I'm investing in myself, not in my yarn. So I have plenty of yarn here, and I just get it when I get a chance. I hadn't been able to knit for a while because I was working on my book, and I was just so entrenched in working on my book, that I didn't get any knitting done. So, you have to pick times when you have to do certain things, and to get when you have a hard deadline, you got to get it done. So that's what I was doing. So, and yesterday, I got to tell you, I love sauerkraut. Love it. I just really, I love sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Well, I detoxed on sauerkraut yesterday, and it's like, okay, this is good. It wasn't like the Montezuma's Revenge type of detox. It was just a gentle detox. Like, I can do this. Doing something like that, is that okay? It was a probiotic.
I think it maybe just more your body just releasing some things, and sauerkraut obviously have some good bacteria in there, but it wouldn't be enough to touch body fat or to really stimulate your liver, your kidneys, or anything along those lines. Maybe a little bowels, but probably it. Yeah.
Okay, but it's better to take like the supplements.
It's not necessarily that. When we are doing particular cleanses, it's important that we have fiber, because when we pull the toxins out of our body, we have to have fiber there. So for people that just go out and do these cleanses that don't, have the right components, people end up, if you pull too many toxins without the fiber, you may end up with some headaches, you may end up with some nausea, and then people say, oh, I don't want to cleanse, it makes me sick. Well, you got to work with a professional with these, and, that could be someone that's professional at the health food store or health coach. There's a lot of great folks out there. But yeah, you want to work with good quality products. Again, it doesn't have to be $100 cleanse, but I like to say, you probably shouldn't pick it up at the dollar store or Walmart. It's just, you want to have good quality products, because this is your body, and you have to make sure that there's a good fit. If you're on medications, some cleanses aren't going to be a good fit.
Right.
If you're someone that drinks alcohol, some cleanses are not, going to be a good fit. So you got to really find, the right timing. You got to know about the amount of water, whatever your way. If you divide it in half, it's about how much water you should have. So the water also helps to flush the fat. So, when I work with clients, I just mainly want to determine how they want to feel. Some people want to have more energy. Some people want to sleep better throughout the night. Some people are trying to deal with a right knee problem. Some people have digestive issues, their skin, a lot of energy, a lot of mental sluggishness, a lot of weight issues. That's what I see the most of, and a lot of anxiety. I see a lot of that. So we work on balancing the body. It takes about 60 days. It's not an overnight thing, but it's not that long either. And then, from there, we're obviously not just working in with supplements, but with food and, work that we love to do, or relationships that are, thrilling for us, or self-care, like you mentioned, very important, for that too. But we have to remember the body wants to be healthy, and when it's not, it's talking to us, and it's up to us. So I guess my biggest mantra is that, it's our responsibility. If we are not where we want to be, it's based on the choices we've made up to this point, and wherever we're going to be is going to be based on our choices that we're making today. So we can change our body at any time, and that's the most exciting thing.
So what type of product, what type of drinks do you suggest, or shakes do you suggest, or supplements that you suggest to cleanse, for the visceral fat?
Yeah, I just did this the cleanse with Isogenics that I really enjoyed, and that was a cleanse where we did like a couple days of shakes, and then had a regular food, lots of water, had some thyroid accelerators in there, and then a couple days of fasting, which I'd never done before, and that was really quite interesting. I did it with my boyfriend Mark, and we were just kind of like, all right. And I've actually never done anything regimented. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Weight Watchers or some of those things, but I just personally had never done that. So I actually like the regimentation of the whole thing. So we had 4 ounces of a juice, and that was, some aloe and some burdock and some dandelion and, ashwagandha and some ginger and berries. And you had 4 ounces 4 times a day with some water and with some snacks. And, was I hungry? Sure. Day 2, you think you're a little more hungry, but day 2 is actually the better day, because you're really burning a lot of fat. You start getting a lot of great energy, and your body is reducing those fat cells. We're born with millions of fat cells. Yes. We grow them through puberty. And when we have babies, we women grow some more fat cells. And so when we can get our body to release fat and use that as an energy source, that's really the whole idea behind detoxing, to work on this. So I still always have a shake for breakfast. That's how I like to start the day. The protein's super important. And if we have enough protein, then we can allow our body to use this fat instead of use our stored sugars to keep us going throughout the day.
Right. I've been trying to do a shake every morning. Of course, my schedule's been off the past couple days. So tomorrow I'm getting ready to rock and roll and start all over again, because when I was away, I had sweet potato fries and I was eating bars. And because it was, you got to catch the plane. You don't have time to eat. So grab a bar that you have in your backpack and just go. Yeah. But they were those cashew bars that you had told me to get.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those are yummy. Yeah.
They were a lifesaver, and they were a whole meal for me. And it got me through, it got me through the tough times, the stressful times when you got to get from one end of the concourse of the plane, the airport, to another end. And I mean, that's stressful when you have to run like that. And let me tell you, I'm not an athlete. I have to work at my sports. I don't get them easy like other people do. My son Donnie, he gets sports really easy. I tried when he was way younger, to get on his skateboard. I thought I was going to just die. I no balance, and he made it look easy.
Yeah, you need some balance for that.
Yeah, and he made it look really easy. He says, "Mom, try my skateboard." So I got on. It's like, no, this is not going to work. I'm glad my car was right next to me, because I had something to hang on to and jump off.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But, some people, like my son, they make sports look easy. And it's not easy for me, Well,
some people are more coordinated than others. We all need to find something that we, really love to do. I mean, when someone says, "Oh, I should exercise," that's different than saying, "Oh, I can't wait to go do," whether that's Zumba or whether for me, is yoga. I mean, it's never a question. I get up in the morning and I can't wait. I'm so excited to go, because it really feeds my body, mentally and physically and spiritually, as well too. So I think when we put guilt on ourselves and we say, "Oh, I should do this, I should do that," and it becomes more of a to-do thing more than an intuitive thing. Like, I really want to move my body today because I feel really great when I do that.
Right. Well, I like to do hot yoga. So, nice. And I love hot yoga. It's very therapeutic, but my ACL I pulled a couple of weeks ago. So I couldn't get on my knees. I couldn't hold any pose like that, but it's now feeling 100% better. Good, maybe 99.9% better. But anyhow, it's a whole lot better, and I can do the poses. So as soon as I get a time where I can just steal away to go to a hot yoga class, I'm going to, because It's 8 minutes away from me, so I really don't have an excuse not to go, other than the fact that
not too many
other than the fact that I injured myself. And when you injure yourself, you have to be careful not to re-injure it or to make it worse. Right? So there's times when you have to rest. And when I was out at my son's house, they don't have air conditioning in California. Okay. There's like very few places that have air conditioning. I went to an Airbnb, no air conditioning. It's like, really? It wasn't bad, though. It was fine because there's no humidity. Right. But their house got kind of hot. And one day I was in there cooking in the kitchen with my son. And I love doing that. I don't always get a chance to do that. And he used to be a chef at a restaurant where we used to live up in Winchester, Virginia. And he said, come on, Mom, we're going to cook. We're going to cook dinner. So I was cooking what he wanted me to cook. And it was getting hot in there. And I was like, well, it's a good thing that I'm used to hot yoga because it's still not as hot as what hot yoga would be.
Yeah, hot yoga's hot. I agree. Yeah, I don't prefer it hot. I just like the regular temperature, but I think there's benefits to all of it. Again, if we love what we're doing, that's the most important.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So how can people tell my viewers how people can stay healthy, lean, and sexy at any age? What are your bullet points?
The bullet points, it's multifaceted, obviously. Right. So for the healthy aspect, it comes from eating real food. It's not about a diet per se, but if you're going to have meat, you want to have meat that doesn't have any antibiotics and doesn't have any hormones. Hormones make the cows fat. They're going to make you fat. If you're going to have chicken, again, choose some that doesn't have any antibiotics. For your fishes, you want to have wild caught fish. Farm-raised fish is raised with antibiotics. They sometimes feed fish corn. I mean, why? They feed fish corn. Fish are never going to eat corn, so you want to not be eating that. With your milks and your cheeses, unless they say otherwise, and you're here in the United States, they're going to have hormones and antibiotics in. So you could also, like we have Wegmans was a big, number one grocery store, and they started here in Rochester, but they have cheeses, whether it's from, Germany or Switzerland, the Spanish and French cheese and Italian cheese I particularly like. And one of the things I travel an awful lot, and when we go to Europe, they don't have any of these chemicals and additives and hormones in the food. So cleaning up the food supply is a big thing. Getting in 25 grams of fiber per day, that's been shown to stop different cancers. It's going to whisk away the cleanses that we talked about, cleansing 2 to 3 times per year. This is all internal. And then also making sure that you have enough of your vitamins. I take bee pollen and spirulina. I take CoQ10 for my heart. I take vitamin E. I tell people we take a look at the history. So in my family, my dad, had heart issues. My mom's family had more dementia, mind issues. So I take things from my mind and from my heart, and then to keep my body in balance. This self-care is very important. I think also finding work that you love and that you're excited about. If you get up every day and you say, oh crap, when you hit the alarm clock, it's going to be hard to be healthy. If you are in a relationship that's boring you silly, or you don't have enough social and you're lonely, it's going to be hard to be healthy, because all the green drinks in the world aren't enough if you don't have the joy that you're experiencing. And, it's really, discipline. I talk about this ad nauseum, both with friends, my partner, Mark, and I think that I can't teach discipline. We can tell people how to, but you can't teach that I want to. And for most people, it has to be a why. We see it over and over again. If someone, let's say just getting out of a marriage, right? Or they're, maybe scooting into a relationship they shouldn't be. They're going to lose weight. Or like for women, a lot of us, if we're going to go to a high school reunion or the daughter's getting married, we're going to lose weight, because we are more emotionally motivated. Men are more motivated by the doctor saying, hey, you're going to have a heart attack, you're going to die there. And he pokes the belly and tells them to do something about it. Of course, we wouldn't poke each other's bellies, Marilyn. That's what people don't do. Women don't do that.
No.
And then from the lean standpoint, that really comes from sugar. We're going to lose the fat that is our muffin top, our excess belly or the space between the thighs. We're going to lose that by cutting out the sugar, because the sugar is what creates the fat, not the fat. And the sexy part comes from confidence. When we feel good about who we are, and when we're doing yoga and our shoulders are back and we're walking toward when we're proud of the skin that we're in, that's more about the sexiness part of it. Is just about being attractive. The most attractive people in the world are usually the happiest people, right? When we see an inner glow with someone, or eyes that are twinkling. So it's not necessarily about that. And in a woman or a man who's comfortable in their body, confidence is always going to be attractive, and we become confident by taking care of ourselves and being proud of who we are. And so it's not, I've been living it my whole life, so I don't mean to say, oh, it's not that difficult, because it's all lifestyle. So I just tell people to do a few things at a time. But for most people, I can get them from where they are to where they want to be, in a 60 to 90 day period of time. So it's a plan that can be followed. If the desire is there, we can get the job done.
We can tell, you and I as health professionals, we can tell people what is the best protocol for them and what they can do. But if they don't comply, it's not going to work. Like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So for people who are really into this, who really want to comply, you can get either in touch with me, or you can get in touch with Shirley, and we can help you out, because that's what I like to do. And plus, I'm a product of the product. I am a work in progress, and I'm working on myself right now as we speak. And tomorrow I'm getting back into journaling what I'm eating again, because that sort of went by the wayside when I was out in California. In fact, everything other than playing with my son and my grandson and my daughter-in-law, everything else sort of went by the wayside, because I don't get to see them that often, and it was important for me to spend time with them. And by the way, if you're on Facebook, I would please, if you get a chance, go to my YouTube channel, Healthy Living with Marilyn Living, and look at Healthy Living with Marilyn on my YouTube channel, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I'd really appreciate it. Love your support, love your friendship, and I'm working on ramping up my YouTube, my YouTube subscribers and stuff, so I can get really more out there. I'm out there, but I really want to get more out there, and that's my goal. And, speaking of helping yourself, I've got a colleague, her name is Lisa Hazelgrove. And Lisa's having a program this weekend, Saturday, May 12th, from 10 to 12 at Resonance Float and Sound. It's a float place down in Sycamore Square off of Midlothian. I love Sycamore Square. They have their houses, and they have stores and restaurants, and it's so cool. It looks like a neighborhood. It's really neat. And she's having it on Saturday, May 12th, from 10 to 12. She's having emotion code sessions. They're $20 for 20 minutes. It's a great thing. It's a great buy if you're interested in releasing a lot of your emotions, because when you release your emotions, and she can help you do that, she doesn't have to know what the emotions are, but releasing your emotions is important. So that helps you get healthier. That helps you release weight, because when you're releasing other things that are hindering you from getting to the bottom source of your issues, and some of these emotions have been suppressed in you since you don't know when. She got rid of a lot of emotions for me. It's like, oh man, I remember that, but I don't remember what happened. And it's a great feeling. It revitalizes you. It really gets you going. So if you want to get in touch with her, she'll be at Residence Float and Sound from 10 to 12 on Saturday. Her phone number is 804-539-3251. That's 804-539-3251. Or get in touch with her at Lisa at lisahealthy.com. Lisa's been working really hard on this. She's been a healthcare provider, a healthcare professional for quite a while, and she's really been helping a lot of people recently. She's also been a guest co-host on my show. And Lisa, if you're watching, I really appreciate it. Send your emojis, your comments, and please check me out on YouTube. I'd appreciate it. So, I have sponsors that help me out, and that's why I give them a little bit of airtime.
Yeah, it's nice,
do a commercial. I have found, which has helped with my stamina, is this HGH gel. It's a homeopathic remedy. This stuff is awesome. It's helped me with my endurance. It's helped me with my stamina. I can run probably about a mile without feeling like my heart is going to pound out of my chest. And when I first started using this, my daughter said she signed me up. My daughter Tiffany, she signed me up for the 5K Komen race, because I said, well, just send me the link.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, okay. So she texts me later and she says, I already signed you up. There's no turning back. Okay. I'm not turning back. So one day she and I and the boys, we went for a walk and a walk run because we had two boys, you know, the 3.5 and 1.5. And she said to me, and we did a little over 3 miles. And she said, Mom, after I had Sammy 1.5 years ago, you couldn't even walk a mile without dying. And I couldn't. I could not walk a mile without, I got to sit down. I can't do this anymore. And she said, you walked 3 miles today. 3 miles. And you ran with Jacob because Jacob will grab my hand and say, come on, Grandma, let's go. And, you know, he just keeps running and running and running because he's got more energy than the Ever-Ready battery. So this has really, really helped me. It's helped me lose some weight. It's helped me stay focused. I could not have written 15,000 words in between 4:30 in the morning and 11 o'clock one day on my book if I hadn't had this stuff. This stuff is amazing. So if you want to know about it, get in touch with me. It is really good. It's a homeopathic remedy. I've been a homeopath for 38 years. So this has really helped, and I'm hoping that I will lose more weight. It's all natural. There's no steroids in this. Everybody says, oh, HGH is like, no, it's not that at all. It's a homeopathic blend. It's great. So if anybody wants to know about it, just get in touch with me, 804-350-0034, or contact me through my Facebook page, or you can private message me. So I try to get on Facebook a couple times a day. I don't eat, live, and breathe on Facebook. Somebody says, you're on Facebook a lot of time. All the time, they said one time. And I said to him, so if I'm on Facebook all the time and you see me on Facebook all the time, are you on Facebook all the time?
Yeah.
You know? Makes you wonder. But I have found that when I am really into taking care of myself, I feel sexy and I look sexy. And I have that glow. You know, you get that glow when you really have your act together.
Yeah.
You know, you really, really get that cool glow. There's no explanation about it. It just, you feel good. You know, I've been working on my posture. I went to a Les Brown event 1 month ago, a little over a month ago. And I noticed when I got up on stage, you know, my posture was bad. So I'm really working on my posture, being more mindful of keeping my shoulders back. And I feel that has really helped me too. And I've been doing a lot of those abdominal leg lifts, which are killers. But I do them anyhow because it's going to help me get to where I want to go.
Yeah, no, it definitely will. And, you know, like you say, when we have that glow inside, another thing I'm going to talk about my Facebook Live tomorrow is women's health in regards to progesterone. I know HGH is you got a homeopathic there, but bioidentical progesterone is also, you know, super important for women as far as for their bones, as far as for their, you know, strength of their hair and for their face and for, you know, sexuality and for, you know, even osteoporosis, all of these things. And so our progesterone drops as we get into usually into our early 40s, because progesterone is necessary for the sperm and in the egg to, you know, hold themselves, you know, and to keep a pregnancy going. But after that, our body doesn't need as much progesterone. But they'll find a lot of women lose their sex drive and they lose their desire to even be with their partner. It just doesn't, you know, it's like, it just doesn't feel right. But if you've got enough of the progesterone, or the husband or partner, you know, is keeping up with testosterone, you're gonna, you know, be able to maintain a nice, you know, healthy, you know, connected sex life, you know, throughout the years as well too. And that is a wonderful tension reliever, as well as you know, helps our body and our mind and our spirit as well too.
Yeah, because when you have overall health and everything is, the whole puzzle has interlocked together. And sometimes my puzzle's not totally interlocked right now because I've been away, and you know, it's the ebb and flow, and it's getting back into the swing of things and getting back into me, to doing for me and not for everybody else, and not having to worry to get up in the morning to be at such and such a place and do such and such a thing. I don't have to do that right now. So I'm developing a program, a self-program for me. And you out there might want to do that. You know, develop a self-program for yourself. If you have questions about it, get in touch with me or get in touch with Shirley, and we'll get you her information later in the show, because it's important for you to do for you so you can have a great life, you know, and people say, well, I'm so depressed. It's like, why do you spend all your time being depressed? That you've only got 24 hours, so you're going to spend most of it, you know, in the dumps. I don't have pity parties.
Yeah, just to jump in, I mean, a lot of people I've seen over the years are not actually, they're not actually depressed. They just have so many toxins built up in your body. When the liver gets too stressed, we can be quick to anger, easily frustrated, lack of patience. But when we have too much going on, our body gets weak and our liver is weak. And the Chinese constitution is then, who cares? Why bother? What's the use? And more of just a flatline kind of a thing. So you find when you do a full body cleanse, someone contacted me today and she says, I just don't feel myself even though the sun is shining. I don't feel good. And that's because of what's going on inside of our body. So when we can take that and balance that liver and get out all this debris we may have been carrying around for 20 years, we can hold 5 to 20 pounds in our colon. Just alone, really, really old stuff. And, and that's heavy. And so it doesn't change what's going on in your life if you've had a death in the family or financial strife or break up a relationship or lost a job. These are real things that happen. But if you have more of just a free floating kind of who cares, why bother, or even severe anxiety, these are all things that can be balanced in the body. And then when we get our body balanced and we're more inclined to do different things, whether that is starting a business or taking up a hobby or traveling around the world, whatever it is that you want to do, but you need to have your your health and your vitality and your energy to take on these new tasks. And if we're in a depressive state, as you just said, Marilyn, you're not going to have the quality of life that you want to have.
You're not.
You're just not going to have the vim and the vigor to do it.
That's
and you're
right.
going to resent it. And you'll resent your life.
Right.
And years will go, and you will die because we all will. And that's just what goes
they
on.
say now, sitting around is the new smoking. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Sitting is the new smoking. So if you're sitting around a lot, you need to get up and walk around. You need to go out of your house, take your shoes off, put your feet in the ground, wiggle your toes in the grass, because we are not grounded. We are a people now of digital age, texting, being on the computer, wearing shoes that don't get us grounded, living in concrete jungles wherever you live. And that makes it difficult.
It does. Also, all the this EMF that comes off the computers, that comes off the TV, and at night, like a lot of people have difficulty sleeping, say between 2 and 4 a.m., and that's all liver related. And we also lose our melatonin and have a hard time sleeping. But if we've got this phone and we're checking this in the middle of the night, there's a blue light that comes out of there. It goes right into our pineal gland. It's going to pop us open for another 20 minutes or so. And so even those lights bouncing around, you have to be aware of what your environment is like within your bedroom, within that sanctuary, so you can have a nest of beautiful sheets and bedding, and it's quiet and it's dark, and you need to then work on getting your body relaxed. And it could be, I take herbal stuff every night for bed, not as much as I used to, but they're the valeriums, the different chamomiles and passion flower. These can all help the body and the mind to relax. And so can meditation and pranayama and some of these other Ayurvedic techniques that I had learned in India too. So
now, how long were you in India? You were there for what, 6 weeks or
5? Yeah, I was there for 5 weeks. Yeah,
because I remember when you said you were going, it's like, oh wow, that's
a big trip. Yeah,
that was a huge trip.
I went. Just kind of popped up in my head. I was doing yoga one day and just thought, like, you go to India. I'm like, I can't do that. Well, I couldn't. And I found this yoga school. I wanted to do that. It was more for self-development than, though I got to be a really great little yogi. But yeah, it was a last minute decision, or one of those life-changing things I like to say in life. We have zigs and zags in our life where we have pivotal moments that set us in a new direction. And India was that for me, so India was able to, help me, to see more, to be more, accept more, and, and also challenge myself in a very big way. We worked from 5:50 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, 6 days a week. Everyone in my class of 15, everyone was under 30. I'm clearly not. And it was just, that part was challenging. We had, 3 yoga classes a day and pranayama and breathing and, and all of this. But what an exercise in discipline, or thinking maybe you couldn't do something and then you could. So yeah, it was a lovely time in my life, and it's still with me, and I'm happy.
I know, because one day you put on Facebook, I'm going to India. It's like, Really?
Yeah.
Like out of the blue. It's like, where's Shirley going? She's going to India? It's like, I thought that was so cool. Yeah. And when you would post things, I was following you through your trip in India.
Yeah, we do a lot of traveling, and I came back. We just spent a month in Sri Lanka, and I'd spent a month in Costa Rica. So I'm very fortunate to be able to see so much of the world. And by doing that, it also influences me in my humility and in my ability to, really try to see a bigger picture. I mean, Sri Lanka was beautiful, and it was raw. But such poverty and such lack of money there. There's not even a garbage truck in the whole country. You have these gorgeous beaches, and it's just an undeveloped nation, if you will. And same thing in India, though. I think India has such long, steeped history, and beautiful food and beautiful people, and a real a simple life, And, so I keep pieces of that with me. So those difficult times we may go through, and then we go through, they're all layers, right, that come on, but that helps us to be who we are and helps us to share. And I just felt like I hadn't been sharing my gifts, and I had so much to offer. And so those trips influenced me to come home and then to share. And that's why I've been doing that, because if I can say a couple things that might inspire someone or give someone a different way to do something, well, then I've had a worthy day, and that makes me happy.
Yeah. My goal every day is to touch the heart and life of one person every day, and to learn something every day. And I do that every day. That's my goal. Yeah. Once I get my feet on the ground and I'm on this side of the side, it's like, okay, deal me the cards. I'm going to play them.
Yeah. And we don't always know what those are going to be. And,
no.
I like to say we all have like a buffet of crap, and sometimes you have to take a lot of helpings in your life, and sometimes you go through and you don't need any helpings. But we all have stories that can make you cry, and that's just life, but it's how you handle that, or how quickly you overcome that. But it's usually something to help to propel you to a better direction. And even though we may be down or scared, or you're not sure where we are, all of that can shift. But it does take effort. You can't sit. You got to get up and read something, do something, learn something, be kind to somebody else, learn a new habit, read a new book. There's no one that can't do that. It's really a choice.
Expand your mind, expand your health, expand your exercise protocol. What do you feel are some of the better exercises to do? The programs like yoga or spinning.
I think doing what you love. I was a gym girl for 30 years. I used to teach aerobics before there was even certification. I taught aerobics when there was records. It was just that was my thing. And then about a year and a half ago, I was on the treadmill at the gym going away, and I've got my phone propped up there, and I've got my Kindle propped here. I got my Fitbit on my hand. And I'm looking at that. I got my headphones on. I'm watching, the 2016 crazy election, and I'm just like, and I'm not feeling good. And I'm just going, what in the hell am I doing? This is not good for my body.
You got too much stuff coming at you.
Yep. I put everything down, and I walked into the yoga studio. So for me, I have found that yoga has toned and shaped my body more than 30 years in the gym. Now, I was a bodybuilder. I was a fitness instructor. In my younger years, I know and do fitness, but I did it more because I know how it would shape my body the way it would be. When I walk into yoga, I just love how I feel and the emotion. But again, this has shaped my body more in the last year than my body's been shaped in 30 years. So whatever you like to do, Zumba's a lot of fun. Walking's a lot of fun. Golf, racquetball, rowing, kayaking, walking the dog. It's getting out there.
It's just getting out there, isn't it?
Yeah, 3 days a week just maintains your body though. You got to do 4 to 5 days a week to get results.
Right.
And the other, just a little tip, you don't want to eat before you exercise ever, because if you put food into your mouth, then your body's going to use that, whether it's a granola bar or some orange juice, your body will use that as fuel. But if you don't put that in, then your body will, after about 20, 30 minutes, will start to release some fat to burn as an energy source. And that's part of getting lean as well, too. And you'd asked me about the lean before. So these, protein shakes, these lean bars, that's what's going to make a difference. So we can, get rid of some of that, pinch and inch kind of thing, and, get our waistlines back and get our abs back and put our butts up in the right direction, and it all moves.
So before I would
go gravity, but
before I would go to hot yoga, how soon before that should I eat? Like a half hour?
I never eat before I go to yoga in the
Okay.
morning. I don't eat. I never have. Like I get up early. I get up at 6 or so, 5:30. I just have coffee. I go to yoga at 8:30. I come home at 10 and I have a protein drink.
Okay.
And that's actually part of intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is just taking about 18 hours and not eating. So let's say like tonight I ate at 5. I'm going to yoga tomorrow, so I won't eat to probably 10. So that's 12. You know, it's about 17 hours. So during that time, during the night, my body will use some fat as energy source, and it'll help me in my quest to.
That's good. Yeah. Speaking of energy, Aubrey Iker, who is my personal trainer, she was going to co-host with me tonight. I don't know what happened to her. I hope she's okay. But she has a program. It's a 12-week program, and she's calling it Health and Confidence in Your Own Skin This Summer and Beyond. She has a company called richmond-wellness.com. She'll talk to you about exercise, nutrition, and lifestyle coaching. You can schedule an exploratory session with her. Her number is 804-367-3589. Again, her number is 804-367-3589. And I honestly sometimes believe, and I know I'm joking, that Aubrey has it in with Delta because she constantly makes me run from one end of the airport to the other. And sometimes they change my gate and I have to run way on the other side of the airport when I get into the terminal. It's like, really? So, but she's a great gal. She's helped me. I'm getting motivated again after being away. It's hard when you're away and you're absorbed in your family that you haven't seen for a while. And you've got a baby who is like no bigger than a Barbie doll, really. And, you just get absorbed in all that. And sometimes I'll be honest with you, I didn't feel guilty about it, but there were some times when I ate comfort food. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, there's different anxieties that go on, and it isn't about the rigidity of everything. It's more about the consistency of the good. There isn't, a green drink isn't going to make you healthy, and a donut's not going to make you fat. It's just like, it goes both ways, it just does. But it's, like we said, it's got to come from within. But when you have a plan to follow and, to feel good about that, or you're working with a trainer like you're talking about, or working with someone like myself or yourself, where you can say, okay, this is what you need to do. I mean, I was in private practice, for 25 years, and that's all I did was, work with programs and work with people. And I still do now, I still do now. But it's, when you're changing people's lives, it's noble work, and, it feels good.
And you can see, when I had a practice, I could see them, basically metamorphosizing into something like a butterfly. And they were feeling great, and they were feeling better, and they were being more productive during the day. Because I really believe when you feel really good, you're going to have a good day. You're going to be more productive. You're going to get things done. You're going to get more organized. My thing was, because I work from home, I would sometimes get ADD, and I would say, well, now I got to do wash, or now I got to do this.
Yeah.
And
then the phone goes off, and it's something on the TV, and someone calls, and it's
and you get this ADD thing, and it's like, since I've been doing this HGH gel here, I don't have that. It's helped me stay more focused to the point where I can stay focused for several hours. And okay, so I got other things I don't even think about those other things that I have to do. They're not even on my radar, and a lot of times I'll just put them on a note and just put it on the refrigerator or someplace and just don't even think about it, because
get to it later.
I'll get to it later. I don't need to get to it now. When I was younger and my kids were growing up, I used to make these real long lists, Shirley, really long lists. And it's like, and when am I going to get all this stuff done?
The list doesn't end.
Yeah, and it doesn't end. So I've told people, put 3 things on your list. You get them done, then you can put 3 more. I've told my mom that. My mom used to have a long list of stuff. Mom, you're not getting anything done. She's 89 years old. God bless her. And I'd say, she says, I'm not getting anything done. I said, you got the same 24 hours I do. She says, well, really, I only have 16 because I sleep 8. I said, okay. I sleep 8 too, at least. But you still got 16 hours. What are you doing with them?
Yeah.
What are you doing with your 16 hours out there in YouTube and Facebook land? What are you doing with those hours? Are you sitting around? Are you thinking about, what are you going to do today? I mean, years ago in my old world, when I was married to the kid's dad, I retired. I flunked that. I'm not good at retiring. I was like 49 and retired. What am I going to do? So I
stepped away from my practice too. And then it's like, I thought I wanted to just travel and do nothing. I'm like, all right, well, that was fun, but no, I'm done with that.
I'm done with that. I flunked retiring. I flunked it twice. I'm not doing it again. Because I have gifts that I want to tell people. I have information, just like you do, Shirley. You have information. Watch her on her Facebook page. What's your Facebook page again?
That's just Shirley Picaretto. Yep.
Shirley Picaretto. Go on her Facebook page. Like her. If you can't find her, look on my Facebook page. She's one of my friends. Check her out at 11 o'clock every morning, Monday through Friday. She has a plethora of information, and I try to share it while she's doing it. I'll be going to the chiropractor tomorrow, but I'm definitely going to share it before I walk into his office. Because
I have a YouTube channel as well too, so there's a lot of videos are on YouTube as well.
And what's your YouTube channel? What is it?
That's also Shirley Picaretto. Yeah.
Shirley Picaretto. Okay. Yeah. So look on her Facebook page, Shirley Picaretto. Look on her YouTube channel. Now, do you put those little videos, those Facebook videos, on your YouTube channel?
Yep.
You do.
Yep, I do. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So if you can't,
most of them are. Yeah, most of them are up there. I've been doing them daily for the last maybe 7 or 8 days. So some of them aren't there, but most of them are. There's probably at least 15 that are up there right now. So plenty of subjects. They go from 15 to 30 minutes, somewhere right around there. But they're all listed. There's anti-anxiety, and there's digestion, and there's fat loss, and there's cleansing, and household products, and heart health, and thyroid health. I mean, they're very intricate. I teach a certified herbalist course. I help people get certified in a natural health course, and that's something that's on my website, and that's a full 12 videos and a course book. And then for people that want to be practitioners, for people that want to help their family, for people that want to help other people get healthy, I have a whole training program for those people as well too.
Yeah. I was helping somebody when I was out in California. She said her coffee was bothering her. It's like, well, what do you put in your coffee? Because I was drinking the same coffee. And it was delicious, but I wasn't putting anything in mine because I'm a hardcore coffee drinker. I'm a hardcore tea drinker. I don't put anything in my coffee. Lemon maybe if it's there, or lime, but that's about it.
Right, yeah.
So I said to her, so what are you putting in your coffee? She said, well, I'm putting honey in. Well, she showed me the honey, and it was honey from a big box store, and it said organic. It's like, no, this is not organic. So it might be organic, but they have other things in them, They can say it's organic for some reason, but if there's minute stuff in there, they don't have to tell you.
They don't have to label it.
They don't have to label it.
Yeah.
If it's under a certain percentage, they don't have to tell you that it's in there, okay? So I muscle tested it on her. It turned out to be the honey because she was coughing. Yeah. She was coughing and she couldn't understand. So then she brings out this bag of stevia. This big bag of stevia that she's eaten a lot out of. And I said, what color is that? She says, it's white. I said, when I grew stevia, it's not white, it's green. She says, well, how did they make it white? I said, they bleached it. And she didn't test good on that either. So she was really glad that I was there to help her out. So if you want to know more about, testing your foods and testing, cleaning products or whatever you want to test, get in touch with me because I can help you out with that. And, it's a technique. And I also showed her how to self-muscle test things like. Sure.
Yeah, I've been doing that for years.
Yeah. And Lisa, when she goes, she muscle tests everything. Lisa Hazel Grove, my friend who I did the little spot for. She muscle tests everything, foods, whatever, shampoos, cleaning products. And so it's important because what's good for you might not be good for someone else, and what's good for them might not be good for you.
It's also certain times too, because sometimes, you may need more, say dandelion that you would test for, and some days you wouldn't need it at all. When I used to make my kids vitamin cocktails every morning, they had these liquids and I had them in little cordial glasses, and I muscle tested them every morning of how much bee pollen, how much alfalfa they needed, if anyone needed any burdock or spirulina or whatever that was, and I made them very specific, drinks every morning based on what their needs were on that particular day. But that's help both of them to be very, very healthy, strong. We've never really used the medical system. I do believe in emergency medicine. If someone's going to have a heart attack, you've got someone in the driveway right away. And if you need an MRI, you know what's going on. These are wonderful stuff. But for so much of things like energy and sleep and digestion and sexuality and acne and all that, we can take care of our bodies and have our health shine through naturally and use emergency medicine when there's an emergency.
Right. I mean, like when my grandson was born premature, you had to do that. There's certain times when you have to cross over into the medical world.
And you're thankful. You're thankful. When
exactly.
Someone breaks a limb or needs, I was in a car accident. My daughter had a cheerleading accident. My son's had a snowboarding accident, and you want the medical care and I'm very thankful and appreciative.
Yeah, I am too. But I have found a lot of issues that people have start in your digestive system. And,
yes, I absolutely agree.
And I've been looking at some of when you mentioned skin, and it's like, I have dry skin, but recently I've had drier skin. And it's like, okay, now it's really time, Marilyn, to really look at my digestive system and what's really going on. Because
the gut health is everything. Yeah.
Right. And
most disease starts in the colon.
Right. And it all, it all starts in the colon, and your colon and your brain, they're interrelated. They're brother and sister. So, when you get sick, when you're under stress, in fact, 90% of the people who go to the doctor, the reason why you're sick is because you're under stress. You got to handle your stress first, in my opinion. And then you got to handle your digestive system. And that's basically what I'm going to be working on for the rest of this summer. It's not summer yet, but it's summer soon. And I'm
warmer where you are. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is. But what's the temperature up there? Is it still cold up there?
It was snowing a week ago, but we are up into the 70s now, so. Yeah, we had snow a week ago last Sunday. Yeah, so it was, but it's in the 70s now. It's good, but short season up here this year. But that's the way it goes.
I think today it got. When I looked on when I was going out this afternoon, I looked on my my temperature, my thermometer in here, because we have an outside thermometer outside, and it said 90.
Nice. Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah. And it wasn't bad. And then we had a thunderstorm this afternoon. And then when I was coming home, I just turned the corner just to get to my house, and the radio started going crazy. And I said, oh, this is not a test. That sound you hear, that buzzing sound. And, they normally say this is a test, but I knew this wasn't a test. And we were getting really severe thunderstorms. So,
wow.
Yeah, so I made it home in time. I made it home basically between thunderstorms. So, but I'm thinking, this is not a test, So I was glad I was close to home, because that sometimes can spark people's adrenaline, when something like that happens. So
sure.
It's the fight or flight definitely. Thing. And, sometimes.
The cortisol, the adrenaline, whether we smell something that's scary or hear a bump in the middle of the night, these things will set off our nervous system. And, sometimes for people that have panic or anxiety, it's just too many bears in the woods, if you will, and things get overloaded. Yeah.
So Shirley, how can people get in touch with you? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
So to sign up for my newsletter, my website is getwellnaturallynow.com, and then also through Facebook. And I am on Instagram, but that's my travel page. I just like to share my travel. That's Tales of Two Travelers. So, and everything is Dr. Shirley, LinkedIn, Dr. Shirley, Facebook, Dr. Shirley Says on YouTube. So you'll find me. I'm out there like you are, Marilyn. But I'm happy to help. I do private consultations. I do. I have a 90-day to healthy, lean, and sexy program that's coming up, and I teach free seminars every day. So just trying to make a difference, and happy to answer any of those questions. And thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for being on. I really appreciate it. I think we got one more minute, Xenophon? Yeah, we got one more minute. So I want to thank all of you for your time and for allowing us to come into your living rooms and your homes. I really appreciate it, and I know Shirley does too. We appreciate you. We hope that we have enlightened you and got you motivated to stay healthy, lean, and sexy at any age. Age, as my mother would say, is just a number. It's just a number. It's how you feel. I don't feel like I'm 65. I don't look like I'm 65, in my opinion. People don't say I don't look like I'm 65. I don't feel it. And that's the important thing. I mean, when I saw my great-grandmother, when she was looking old, that was different. things have changed now. There's better ways to get healthy. There's better ways to be vibrant. And I want to let everybody know that, yes, you can do it. So have a great evening and be amazing. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.